The intelligence of the universe is social. A man's life is what his thoughts make of it. When men hate or blame you, or say hurtful things about you, look deeply into their hearts and see what kind of men they are. You'll see how unnecessary it is to strain after their good opinion. Yet you must still think kindly of them. They are your neighbors. The gods help them as they do you, by dreams and oracles, to win their heart's desires. Tomorrow is nothing, today is too late, the good lived yesterday. Everything is banal in experience, fleeting in duration, sordid in content, in all respects the same today as generations now dead and buried have found it to be. When force of circumstance upsets your equanimity, lose no time in recovering your self-control, and do not remain out of tune longer than you can help. Habitual recurrence to the harmony will increase your mastery of it. Accustom yourself not to be disregarding of what someone else has to say, as far as possible enter into the mind of the speaker. Get rid of the judgment, get rid of the I am hurt, you are rid of the hurt itself. Let no act be done without purpose. Begin each day by telling yourself, today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil. He who fears death either fears to lose all sensation or fears new sensations. In reality, you will either feel nothing at all and therefore nothing evil, or else, if you can feel any sensations, you will be a new creature and so will not have ceased to have life. Since it is possible that thou mayest depart from life this very moment, regulate every act and thought accordingly. But to go away from among men, if there are gods, is not a thing to be afraid of, for the gods will not involve thee in evil. But if indeed they do not exist, or if they have no concern about human affairs, what is it to me to live in a universe devoid of gods or devoid of providence? But gods there are, undoubtedly, and they regard human affairs, and have put it wholly in our power, that we should not fall into what is truly evil. Nothing can come out of nothing, any more than a thing can go back to nothing. That which is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bees. Why do you hunger for length of days? The point of life is to follow reason and the divine spirit and to accept whatever nature sends you. To live in this way is not to fear death, but to hold it in contempt. Death is only a thing of terror for those unable to live in the present. Pass on your way, then, with a smiling face, under the smile of him who bids you go. People generally despise where they flatter, and cringe to those they would gladly overtop, so that truth and ceremony are two things. Snow endures but for a season, and joy comes with the morning. But if anything in thy own disposition gives thee pain, who hinders thee from correcting thy opinion? And even if thou art pained because thou art not doing some particular thing which seems to thee to be right, why dost thou not rather act than complain? But some insuperable obstacle is in the way, do not be grieved then, for the cause of its not being done depends not on thee. But it is not worth while to live if this cannot be done. Take thy departure then from life contentedly, just as he dies who is in full activity, and well pleased too with the things which are obstacles. Do not expect Plato's ideal republic, be satisfied with even the smallest step forward, and consider this no small achievement. Keep yourself simple, good, pure, serious, and unassuming, the friend of justice and godliness, kindly, affectionate, and resolute in your devotion to duty. Everything is only for a day, both that which remembers and that which is remembered. Observe constantly that all things take place by change, and accustom thyself to consider that the nature of the universe loves nothing so much as to change the things which are and to make new things like them. For everything that exists is in a manner the seed of that which will be. If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective, I'll gladly change. It's the truth I'm after, and the truth never harmed anyone. What harms us is to persist in self-deceit and ignorance. Observe and contemplate on the hidden things of life, how a man's seed is but the beginning, it takes others to bring it to fruition. Think how food undergoes such changes to produce health and strength. See the power of these hidden things which, like the wind, cannot be seen, but its effects can be. The constant recollection of death is the test of human conduct. Suppose that men kill thee, cut thee in pieces, curse thee, what can these things do to prevent thy mind from remaining pure, wise, sober, just? When you find an unwillingness to rise early in the morning, make this short speech to yourself: I am getting up now to do the business of a man, and am I out of humor for going about that I was made for, and for the sake of which I was sent into the world? Was I then designed for nothing but to doze and keep warm beneath the counterpane? Well, but this is a comfortable way of living. Do not think that what is hard for you to master is humanly impossible, but if a thing is humanly possible, consider it to be within your reach. It is not right to vex ourselves at things, for they care not about it. The act of dying is one of the acts of life. How powerful is man? He is able to do all that God wishes him to do. He is able to accept all that God sends upon him. He does not write at all whose poems no man reads. Live out your life in truth and justice, tolerant of those who are neither true nor just. The sole thing of which any man can be deprived is the present, since this is all he owns, and nobody can lose what is not his. Change your attitude to the things that bother you and you will be aware of them. To refrain from imitation is the best revenge. Failure to read what is happening in another's soul is not easily seen as a cause of unhappiness, but those who fail to attend the motions of their own soul are necessarily unhappy. You need to be prepared for firm decisions and action without losing gentleness towards those who obstruct or abuse you. It's as great a weakness to be angry with them as it is to abandon your plan of action and give up through fear. You must become an old man in good time if you wish to be an old man long. Receive the gifts of fortune without pride and part with them without reluctance. Men despise one another and flatter one another, and men wish to raise themselves above one another and crouch before one another. God overrules all mutinous accidents, brings them under his laws of fate, and makes them all serviceable to his purpose. We ought to do good to others as simply as a horse runs, or a bee makes honey, or a vine bears grapes season after season without thinking of the grapes it has borne. A good man does not spy around for the black spots in others, but presses unswervingly on towards his mark. Man must be arched and buttressed from within, else the temple wavers to the dust. Reverence the gods and help men. Short is life. It is the act of a madman to pursue impossibilities. Dress not thy thoughts in too fine a raiment. And be not a man of superfluous words or superfluous deeds. Run down the list of those who felt intense anger at something, the most famous, the most unfortunate, the most hated, the most whatever. Where is all that now? Smoke, dust, legend, or not even a legend? Think of all the examples. And how trivial the things we want so passionately are. Live not as though there were 1,000 years ahead of you. Fate is at your elbow, make yourself good while life and power are still yours. No one wearies of benefits received. It is within our power not to make a judgment about something and so not disturb our minds, for nothing in itself possesses the power to form our judgments. It is a sin to pursue pleasure as a good and to avoid pain as an evil. A man does not sin by commission only, but often by omission. All things are the same, familiar in enterprise, momentary in endurance, coarse in substance. All things now are as they were in the day of those whom we have buried. It is the duty of men to love even those who injure them. A noble man compares and estimates himself by an idea which is higher than himself, and a mean man by one lower than himself. The one produces aspiration, the other ambition, which is the way in which a vulgar man aspires. Regain your senses, call yourself back, and once again wake up. Now that you realize that only dreams were troubling you, view this reality as you view your dreams. If the gods care not for me and for my children, there is a reason for it. A spider is proud when it has caught a fly, one man when he has caught a poor hare, and another when he has taken a little fish in a net, and another when he has taken wild boars, and another when he has taken bears, and another when he has taken Sarmatians. Are not these robbers, if you examine their opinions? The man who doesn't know what the universe is doesn't know where he lives. That which comes after ever conforms to that which has gone before. Receive wealth or prosperity without arrogance, and be ready to let it go. Take full account of what excellencies you possess, and in gratitude remember how you would hanker after them, if you had them not. The universe is in change, life is an opinion. Receive without conceit, release without struggle. Observe constantly that all things take place by change. Consider, for example, and you will find that almost all the transactions in the time of Vespasian differed little from those of the present day. You there find marrying and giving in marriage, educating children, sickness, death, war, joyous holidays, traffic, agriculture, flatterers, insolent pride, suspicions, laying of plots, longing for the death of others, newsmongers, lovers, misers, men canvassing for the consulship and for the kingdom, yet all these passed away and are nowhere. Take away your opinion, and then there is taken away the complaint, I have been harmed. Take away the complaint, I have been harmed, and the harm is taken away.